everybody, what's going on? It's your boy Rome here in the home studio, putting together a little video for you guys, and I want to do something relatively quick. I'm not going to say it's going to be super fast, but it's going to be fast enough for you to get the point and for me to go over a number of these things. So one of the things that I've been noticing a lot, I've been talking to people who are starting up their podcast or they're starting up some type of YouTube content channel. And one of the things they seem to always overlook, and I think I did that way back in the day, and you never think about the support gear that you must have for this stuff to work properly and for it to be convenient. So one of the most important items that you must have, other than your camera, obviously a good microphone, is going to be a support system. And what I mean by support system, I'm not talking about, your parents still paying for your insurance while you're living at home at 30. No, I'm talking about tripods, whether they're tabletop tripods or whether they are the full-size professional Manfrotto units that you can find online. You can find them on B&H. You can find them on Autorama, as well as you can find, really good deals on them on Amazon, just depending on what you're looking for. But for what most of us are going to be shooting in our home studios, especially if you're going to be unboxing things or you're doing tutorials, how-to videos and things like that, you're going to need just basically a very simple tabletop styled tripod. Now, tripods come in many flavors, many shapes, many definitions, meaning that you can get some that can support pretty good weight. I'm not saying they're going to support like, a Red Dragon or something like that, but there are those that are out there, but they're extremely expensive. What you're going to be looking for is something that can ideally support a smartphone or a small point and shoot camera. Or if you're using a GoPro, something along that line. You just want it to be stable and have the ability to angle it however you need to get the best coverage of whatever it is that you're trying to show on your videos. Okay, so here's a very simple tripod that I have here. I've had this tripod for a long time. This is branded by a company named Bauer, and it's been around forever. At least I've had it forever. And what's cool about this tripod is the mounting plate has a little buttons here on the side that you can depress, and that allows you to adjust the plate to different heights and different levels. And you have your normal screw-in mount that you would use to screw this into whatever device you're going to be applying it to, whether that's a point and shoot camera or a GoPro with the right mount. But what's cool about these is that the legs fold out and it creates kind of a pistol grip style tripod. Now, I've done videos about these before, and I've shown these in videos before, how they work. So it just produces like a little platform there. But like I said, what's cool about this, if you're using a point and shoot camera, is that you can collapse this and then you could place your camera like so, and you could use it if you're blogging or something along that line. So this is it's unique, it's cute, but it cannot support a lot of weight. I'll tell you that up front, it will not support a lot of weight. So if you're looking at a camera, and I doubt many of you are going to be using, something set up like this, but this is the Sony a7 III with the Sigma 1.4 35 millimeter lens. And that's with the full battery grip on this one as well. So this is not a super heavy camera, but it's definitely too heavy for this type of little tripod. But I would say in most cases, if you're shooting with a camera like this, you should definitely be using something a little bit more professional, or at least that can handle a little bit more weight. Now, this tripod that I'm showing you guys here, this is from a company called Vanguard. Excuse me. And these tripods have been around for a really long time. I think I've had this one for years. I love the fact that it has this little quick release plate, where you can just depress this little button here. If you don't have this tightened down, you can just depress this little button and the quick release plate just pops right out. And that gives you, quick, easily accessible way to remove your camera. And then when you release it, even though the tensioner is not tight, it still won't come out unless you depress this little button here to release it. And see, I just threw it across the room. So that shows you exactly how that works. But if you look here, it's not a really big tripod, and it has the 3 extending legs. You can get really, really low with this one, depending on what it is you're trying to shoot. But again, for tabletop photography, I think this is going to be pretty much overkill. It's going to be too big. So this is not a tripod that you'd want to go with. So we can look at smaller things, and then you can think about some of the mounts that you could possibly use for a GoPro that can do basically the same thing. So this is a suction mount, and you would just press it here. Let's get it in place. So you press it down, and then you just lock it. It's probably not going to do too well on this wooden desk, but you kind of get the idea. So it would lock in place, and then you could adjust the arms however you need them. And you could, place this up against a wall or any flat surface that you could secure it to. Then you could mount your GoPro. You can mount your GoPro on something like this, and then it would be much easier to get it into the position that you'd want to, place your GoPro in. Of course, this one doesn't want to go in, but we'll get it in there. We'll force it in. All right, there we go. So if this was your setup, you would just place that somehow, and you could adjust it just enough to get it over whatever it is you're trying to record. And that's exactly how I have set up here similarly, where there is a GoPro above this desk that I'm recording with. And once you lock these down, they'll pretty much stay in place. It's not going to be wiggling around or anything like that. And these are pretty sturdy. I mean, I've used these on motorcycles up to speeds of 80, 90, 100 miles an hour at times. And, the GoPros don't move. I mean, they're just stuck there. You want to get this wet and, clean it, this little suction area. But once you take care of that, and once you mount these, man, you're good to go. And I mean, you can really go with those. But if you're using a smartphone, that's probably not going to get you there. So what you're going to need in order for your smartphone to work is a different type of mount. So what we want to look at now is something that I just got in today from Manfrotto. And this is an item that we purchased on Amazon. But this is a Manfrotto, I think it's the Pixie, little mini tripod. And these are plastic, but they can usually support quite a bit of weight. I don't think, again, it's going to support something like, the camera that I'm shooting on, or something with a heavy cage or something like that, but it will pretty much, for the most part, support almost anything else that you guys are going to be using. Remember, you're going to be most likely putting together content for your YouTube channel, or you're going to be out blogging or something like that. So you want something that's going to be light, it's going to be easy to maneuver and, keep control of. And I think something like this will give you exactly what you're looking for. Now, you can find these for as little as I think I found this one for under $20. Okay, so let's see if we can get that out. Now it comes with, obviously the manual, and it comes with some other stuff in here, different things that you can purchase. But I think for the most part, the majority of the things that you're going to need for this, specifically if you're going to be mounting this for your smartphone, is going to be a little mount like this. And this one was from a company that sent it to me for a review. It's called Square Jellyfish. I don't even know if they still exist. I did that review, some years ago. But, it's a pretty good, depending on the size of your phone. All of my phones are, both of my phones that I use right now are the Note 10 Pluses. So they're, relatively big. But we'll see if that'll fit on here. I think it should. I don't think it should be a problem, because I'm pretty sure I've used this one before, if not with my gimbal. But simply enough, you would take your tripod, and like I said, this is plastic. It kind of has like a metal feel, or it feels like it could be some composite or something like that. Manfrotto has been around forever when it comes to really making really, really good tripods, and this is no exception. Now, what's cool about this one is when you want to rotate it, so let's first attach this little head here. We'll just screw that in. Get it in there, always snug it tight. Okay, so say for instance you wanted to change the angle of this. All you would have to do is to press this little button here, and now you can adjust this pretty much wherever you want it. And once you release it, it'll stay there. So again, depress it, and you can move it around, okay? So let's just take a phone and see how well that would fit into something like this. So this is my Note 10 Plus. It's in a case, but regardless of that, most phones are going to be maybe a little bit smaller than this, but it'll still get the job done. So I usually just press it in and boom, there you go. And you can just press your little button and adjust it wherever you want to. So if you're shooting something a little bit lower, something like that, you can get that angle and you can position it however you need to.